Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by Jamie Moore. Jamie, it seems like it's been a while since I've spoke to you. I mean, I was at the Jack Carroll fight last time. I don't think we managed to have an interview, but how's life? How's things?
Oh, good, mate, yeah. Thanks. You?
Yeah, very well, very well. Been busy being a coach like yourself of late, so it's babysitting is hard work.
See, now you understand when you say to your hand, it's busy, mate. It's like I've got 8 fighters, so when you try to juggle, make plans, planning sparring, seeing where they're up to, the development what they need to do. It's hard work, man.
I've not got 8 yet. I've got 3. Well, 2.5. I'm turning one over, but I know exactly how you feel. Let's start talking about some of them 8 fighters. Then we'll start at the top with Pat Brown. I mean, for a guy coming out the amateurs, you know yourself, Jamie. Sometimes these guys that are elite amateurs, they'll be on an undercard of a Chris Eubank, Conor Benn type card, and they'll sit down there, get their ticket allocation, sell it, and then watch the rest of the card. Pat Brown has sold 2,000 whatever tickets, headlining. And I've just spoke to him. He seems cool, calm, collected. Like this doesn't faze him.
No, you know what? He's got the perfect temperament. I feel to go all the way. There's loads of different attributes or incidentals. They all go together, which makes someone eventually successful. I just get the feeling that Pat's got the right sort of ingredients. His temperament. He's so laid back. He takes it all with a pinch of salt, and he can really fight. Technically he's very good. He can punch, but he's got a great personality. He's very amicable, comes across well. So he's got that. It's like the X Factor where you can't quite put your finger on it. What makes him so popular? But he's just. Everyone seems to like him. It
just seems like a Manchester thing. It was Ricky Hatton. Yeah. Then it was Anthony Crawler.
It's just that likability factor. He's got it, and. He's such a nice kid, but I swear to God, put a pair of gloves on him and he's a beast. And you're going to see it on Friday night. Like he said just there, he's not a massively fast starter, although I've got a feeling that this opponent is going to start quick, which will then make him have to start quick. And I don't think he wants to be rushing onto Pat Brown's shots because he can really hit. And over the next few years, I just really feel like we're going to get a real exciting journey.
You're a proud Mancunian yourself, and you know yourself, Manchester boxing's always been that little hub. All the shows either in London or Manchester, but there seems to be a gap right now from the Ricky Hattons and the Ant Crawlers and all these guys. And
it seems to come round in dips and troughs, and like we was part of that scene with Ricky, Michael Brody, Carl Thompson. On the back of the success of the Champs Camp years ago, we was all the amateurs coming through, seeing those guys on TV, winning British titles, going, wow, this is realistic. Someone who lives 10 minutes down the road is on the TV winning a British title, and it makes you realise and understand then that it's something that you could achieve as well. So then that created the next generation of us lot coming through. So Ricky Hatton, Michael Brody, myself, Anthony Farnell, Thomas McDonough, Michael Jennings, Michael Gomez, like all those guys come on the back of that success, and I just feel like we've had that little gap now in between, but we've now got Pat, Conor, Alfie Middlemiss from my amateur boxing club, Crawler's younger brother Will. We've got another generation of fighters coming through in Manchester, and now I've got an amateur boxing club which is 4 years old. Nige is well established now, his amateur boxing club, but you've got kids who are now seeing fighters who've come through those gyms, turning professional, being on TV, having success. So it's not just, it was close to home for us, but it's literally on their doorstep. They're seeing fighters who've been in the gym with them. So now, hopefully, that is going to inspire the next generation again. And it should be bigger than it was then. So there should be more fighters coming through. So I'm so glad to be part of it, and I'm glad to see so many good fighters coming through the likes of Nigel's gym. And now I've just got my first one, Alfie Middlemiss, coming through from Walkden. And it's just a conveyor belt creating better communities, better people in general, but every now and again creates good fighters.
Tell you what, I hope the old days when you just mentioned all them fighters there, I can remember Michael Jennings fighting Cottle back in the day. How long ago was that?
That must have been 15, 20 years ago, maybe. 20 years ago,
I've been following that Manchester and used to come down here, and I hope that the big shows come to Manchester, because it seems like it's only 3 hours down the road from me.
Exactly, We've got a massive arena there now for it to fill it out in the co-op as well.
So it's good news for me. I do want to touch on Cameron Vuong and Jordan Flynn. Now this fight has been brewing for well over a year now. The animosity, the hatred, if you want to call it hatred, the back and forth between the two of them. I just spoke to Cameron Vuong there as well. Normally that young man's got a smile on his face and he's joking about with me, but he was stone-faced, and he was just answering direct questions and being like, I just can't wait to get in there and punch him in the face and end this. I mean, what's this training camp been with Cameron this time round?
It's been great, and in all honesty, he's always the consummate professional.
Yep.
We've always felt he sort of maybe stuck a little bit in between lightweight and super lightweight. He's absolutely knuckled down for a good 10, 11 weeks now in terms of nutrition. He's had Carl Evans on board, a real good nutritionist, and he's absolutely done the weight the best he's ever done it. That was my only concern. From a talent point of view, I don't think you can look at the fight and think, you know, this is a 50-50. Cameron's the favourite for a reason, and he'll go in there and perform because of the occasion, because of what's happened before. He just really doesn't like him, you know, and like, you've got to admit, some of the stuff he does is just cringy. You can't deny it. You know, there's a little bit of comedy value to it, but I get where Cameron's coming from, but he's like absolutely gone, I'm going to do a number on this kid. And when he's in that type of mindset, it's a dangerous prospect. Gavin Gwynn coming, you know, it's a hard fight. He had 6 fights. Just think about that. No one's giving him the type of credit he deserves for even taking that fight in the first place, never mind going through what he did. And it was a close fight, could have gone either way. I believe he won it by 1 round. I said it on the night, I've watched it back, I still believe he won it. But if it had gone the other way, I wouldn't have complained. But he won the fight, and he didn't get any credit for it. And you know, always a little bit people saying, oh, he lost the fight. So that's part of the reason why you don't get credit. But you tell me another prospect who's moving the way Cameron's moving. Well, nobody.
That's interesting you said that, Jamie, because I did say to Jordan, I said, your thoughts as Cameron as a person, and he said the usual, arrogant, but Jordan, as a fighter, as a young fighter, you're a fighter yourself, the way he's approached this programme so far with the fighters that he's fought in so early on in his career, do you respect him for that? And he says, I've got to respect him for that. So, to be fair, you have to respect the young man for taking these tests.
And nobody's moving that quick unless they've been on GB for years and they're 27, 28 years old. You're talking about a 20-year-old kid turning pro, full of confidence, full of talent, full of ambition. And we saw something in him early on where we went, let's match him a little bit above where you would match a normal prospect, because I feel like if we undermatch him, he'll go backwards.
Yep.
He'll get an overinflated opinion of where he's at, you know, and he can punch, but he's not a massive puncher. You go in there and start bowling over journeymen who shouldn't be in there with you, then you get a false opinion of where your power's at. Now he understands where he's at. He's also now got massive experience under his belt about navigating 10 rounds. The maturity in him now, since that experience of Gavin Gwynn, and the way he navigates those rounds is so improved, and that's why we matched him with him, because I knew he'd struggle in those later rounds, and I wanted him to get the experience under his belt to make him a better fighter in the long run. So that was the reason why we did it, and you'll see that in this fight now.
I tell you what, like I said, I'm looking forward to this fight as a fan, as more than anything, because of the, you know yourself, the animosity builds it, and we're going to be.
Always makes it a bit juicy, doesn't it?
It does make it a bit juicy, but I mean, how's your hands holding the pads? Because you mentioned about Pat Brown as a puncher, but then you talk about Conor Tusbury. Have you got that night? How's your hands?
Pat Brown, Conor Tusbury, Dave Allen. My elbows, my wrists, my shoulders are wrote off. Luckily, Nige, obviously, we split between us. But what can you do? I feel, in all honesty, I feel like I'm getting fitter and more conditioned over the last sort of 6 months because of that. So you know, what can you do? You just got to play with the cards you dealt.
Well, that's it. Well, Conor Tusbury, like I said, another young guy that's coming through that can punch, and it looks like an exciting fight if you go off his debut. I mean, them shots that he was putting together in the second round were nasty and
powerful kid.
Yeah. So just talking about him, can he be sort of him and Pat Brown? Are those two going to shadow each other going forward in their pro careers?
Yeah, I think roughly you want to navigate them both similar to what we've maybe done with Cameron. You know, you don't want them to go backwards. They're older than Cameron was, and you want to progress them in a nice sort of steady pace, not over rush him, but make sure you match him with the right type of kids. Conor is massively powerful. It's like it's just
light heavyweight. Conor, is he?
Light heavyweight, yeah. He's just making sure that he learns to make sure he controls it and navigates it properly. Knows when to use it, knows when to settle down, pick up the points, navigate through, and when to go and when not to. So that's part of our job now as coaches, is teaching him those lessons. So again, he's straight in with 6 rounds. I just don't see the point in getting 3 or 4 rounders in, because he's near enough to doing what he's been doing in the amateurs for years. So yeah, it's not an easy fight for him. Robbie Connor's is a good, solid fighter. But I just believe that Connor is ready straight away to go in with someone like Robbie, and Robbie's never been stopped. I don't think he'll get him out of there like that, like he did last time. But I do believe that if Connor goes about it the right way, then he's got the chance of getting him out of there. Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting night as well on Saturday. But away from the card, you mentioned Dave Allen there, and the rematch is on. I watched TalkSport with Eddie Hearn and Johnny Fisher, and they seem to be big on this round 6. This round 6 was the pivotal round for that fight. I want to get your thoughts on it, because
from the first fight.
From the first fight, yeah, from the first fight.
It was round 5, which was the pivotal round. It's the 10 rounder, right in the middle, and I don't think it was an hard fight to score. I thought it was 6-4. The very worst, it was 5-5 with the knockdown, which gives it us. It's quite a straightforward fight to score. But listen, Johnny Fisher's young, inexperienced. He's going to improve. So the stuff I've just been telling you about my fighters is Johnny Fisher has just got the same type of lessons on board as what I've just been talking about. So we've got to expect a better version of Johnny Fisher. And he will be. I'm telling you now, Dave Allen will be better, because last time he were only 60%-ish. From the starting point what we got to where we got to before the fight, he was way better than when he started, but he was not anywhere near where he can be. And I think a lot of people will tell you that about Dave, who've come across him over the years, who've crossed paths with him, is he's never fulfilled his potential, and it's been because of the work ethic. He's always got away with it because his skill set's very good. So where his skill set's high, his work ethic, he's left it there and he's gone, I'll just fiddle my way through. And I tell you what, he's probably fitter now already than he was for the first fight. So because he had a couple of weeks off over Christmas, was straight back in the gym in January, and he's just coasted, waiting for a date. Now he's upped it for the last couple of weeks, and he's probably as fit now as he was for the fight, and we've still got 7 weeks. So we understand that Johnny Fisher's going to be better. That's for me, that's a given. He's going to come better, but I promise you, Dave Allen's going to come better as well.
Johnny Fisher's talking like he needs to get the stoppage in this fight, going on that TalkSport interview. So we know that Dave Allen can hurt Johnny Fisher. The game plan isn't always to go there and knock the guy out, but you feel like now, after the first fight, you're saying you're going to get a better Dave Allen. Maybe if Johnny Fisher does come and throws more shots, there's going to be more gaps and more openings. Can Dave Allen get Johnny Fisher out of there this time round?
Well, you see, we had to navigate the fight properly last time because of the engine what we had with Dave. So that's why it was really important to get our tactics right the first time. It's not going to be as important this time because Dave's going to have a way better engine. It'll all depend on what type of Johnny Fisher comes. But Johnny caught Dave clean a few times last time and never really rocked him. Dave's got a cute defence, rides shots well and stuff like that. So and Dave, out of the two, Dave was the one who did the damage when the two out of the two landed. So but like I say, I expect a better version of Johnny. I expect him to. He had the most success when he kept it long, boxing from the outside, kept it long on the end of the jab. So we understand the problems we're going to encounter. It's just us getting Dave into a position now where he can overcome it.
I know, it's an exciting time for you, Jim, but it's not my scene, but it's probably not your scene either. But this whole Jake Paul calling out Anthony Joshua, I'm guessing you've heard about it, or you might have saw it on social media.
I've not,
Jamie?
I've not seen it. Someone's just mentioned it to me now, and listen, come on, mental. But Jake Paul, separately, nothing to do with this. I've just been saying, anyone who can make money out of boxing, I take me out of here and go for it because it's the hardest.
Sure, you want to make money and keep your faculties.
Well, exactly that. Now, why would Jake Paul want to get absolutely obliterated by Anthony Joshua? And I'm not saying Jake Paul's not improved over the years because he's been involved in boxing now for quite a few years, so you would expect he's getting some good experience under his belt. He hasn't fought that many boxers, but in terms of experience and developing and getting better, he's developing. But Anthony Joshua, come on, man.
Come on, man. That's it. That's as simple as that's my response as well, Jimmy. Jimmy, I tell you what, thank you so much. And you know what? weigh-in tomorrow. It seems like it's going to be a quick show because it's a Friday night show. I'm here on a Wednesday thinking we've got a public workout and all that, but
comes around quick Friday fight.
Exactly, 2 days away. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck with all your fighters on the card, and
Cheers,
thank you for speaking to me. Thanks Jamie. Thank you.